On June 7th, 4 best friends and a bunch of their friends will pile into a TV studio in Philadelphia with buzzers, microphones, lights, and trivia to recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, streaming online, live and uncensored. It's the 12th annual 24-hour game show marathon, raising $10,000 for Child's Play, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting children's hospitals around the world through the power of play. To learn more or to donate towards the $10,000 goal, go to GameShowMarathon.com.
You've tuned in to the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
You realize what you've done?
With Rich Liebig.
A real gangster plays his cards, right?
And Michael Costanzo.
What was that you just read?
Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news.
Good times, noodle salad.
The point is, you now have the ability to be happy.
And now, here's Rich and Mike on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Woo! Yeah! How you guys doing?
What's up, everybody?
It's time for this week's episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. We've got sports. We've got entertainment. We've got odd news. We've got everything that you want in a meal for your mind coming at you in this hour-long or so podcast. Thank you guys for joining us on another journey for this this meal for your mind, as we like to say, here at the Crispy Noodle headquarters. Thank you guys for joining us. Before we get to all of the news that is fit to listen to in an hour-long or so podcast, Mikey, my friend, how are you doing? How is Costanzo Country holding up?
I'm doing just swell. I have recently been checking out some of the old Daredevil series on Disney Plus, the old Netflix series.
Oh, is this because the new season Daredevil came out?
It's because the new one came out, and I got some strong recommendations from some of my cousins. They're like, you got to watch it, you got to watch it. It's like the show is right up your alley. I don't know why I never bothered watching it in the first place, because so far I'm like 9 episodes into season 1, which is almost finished. I think there's only like 3 or 4 more episodes, and it's fantastic. I'm enjoying it so much. It's, you know.
So this is when it came. This is when it came out on Netflix.
This is right. This is the old Netflix one that's on Disney Plus now. It's fantastic. It's, you know, the sort of like under the sort of like crime city thing going on, you know, all the what's the word I'm looking for? Crime syndicate stuff going on.
Crime thriller.
Yeah, it's like a crime thriller, legal thriller.
Yeah.
It's got some, you know, moral commentary in there. It's really, really good. I'm just fascinated by Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, who I know becomes the Kingpin at some point in the larger Marvel universe. I only know him as the Kingpin, like in the Spider-Man world, where he's already like climbed up to the very top of the underworld, and he's kind of ruling New York City with an iron fist kind of thing. So it's interesting to see him kind of carving his path here in season 1. I don't know, you know, I might be making a fool of myself saying things that don't pan out over the course of the next 3 or 4 seasons. But right now I'm really enjoying it. The other thing that I've been enjoying is I've been listening a lot to the new Ghost album.
Yeah.
Not that I needed a recommendation from you, but I've been listening and re-listening to it. And I mean, the reason why it comes to mind is just today I was listening to it driving to and from the gym, and I'm going, man, it's a really solid album.
Yeah, Skeleta.
Skeleta. And the one song in particular that I'm really digging is Excelsis.
The closer.
The closer, yeah. It's a great power ballad, right? You gotta love a good rock power ballad, right? It's just got some, I think, fantastic lyrics, and not only that, but I love the line where he just shouts Excel, because I imagine he's chanting about Excel, like the Microsoft program.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of my waking hours in Excel, so now that's what I think about.
So when you double click Microsoft Excel, you go Excel.
Excel, yeah. So I just said go. If you, like many business people out there, spend most of your waking hours in Excel, go check out Excelsis from Ghost.
Okay.
I find that small part very funny.
Yes. You can chant Excel when you
Yeah.
load the program.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Just checking out Daredevil and Ghost. Very devilish activities, I guess, between Daredevil and Ghost.
So Ghost, also to plug them, they have the #1 album on the Billboard album charts. It's the first time
Wow.
in 4 years that a hard rock band has the #1 spot. So Ghost did it.
That's awesome.
Rock is not dead.
It's not quite. It's almost dead.
No,
but
stop. No, it's coming back. Here we go.
Ghost is like the most exciting thing to happen to rock in a long time.
I
It's
agree.
true.
Yeah.
It's fantastic stuff though. They lean a little bit more like prog, like
The last couple albums have been more
like
prog,
glam
pop. Yeah.
pop like thing, but I like that.
Right.
You know, I enjoy that. I think there's a lot of artistry behind what they're doing, the lyrics, the music, they're trying new things. It's not just all like thrash metal, you know, which I
Right.
appreciate.
Yeah. Although the flip side of that coin is that the people that love the first 2 albums are saying, "Oh, it's not hard enough. It's not metal enough."
Yeah. I mean, it sucks because the people that got them there might not enjoy them anymore, but I think that artists have to always evolve and try new things, you know?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of art, right? Is trying
right.
new things, experimenting.
Right, and you grow.
Yeah.
You have a different kind of like the albums themselves. Themselves, they have different phases. They have different papas. It really makes sense that each album has a different frontman.
I mean, you look at any big band. I mean, even look at like, you know, the greatest band of all time, the Beatles. If they had just stuck with "You Want to Hold My Hand" for all of their songs and albums, I don't think they would have become
Is that the inverse of "I Want to Hold Your Hand"?
Yeah, whatever.
You want to hold my hand?
You want to hold my hand?
I'm gonna make you hold my hand. You shut up. I'm grabbing you by the hand.
You want to hold my hand?
You're gonna hold my hand.
Yeah, I want to hold your hand. Yes.
Yes.
That's their real deep cut.
Yeah.
You want to hold my hand? It does sound very threatening, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it
You
does.
want to hold my hand? But the point is, if they had just kept singing songs like "I Want to Hold Your Hand" or in my universe, "You Want to Hold My Hand," we wouldn't have amazing, you know, hits like "Hey Jude" and "Eleanor Rigby" and "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" and, you know, all their later stuff. So you gotta grow and change as an artist.
Lennon hated that song.
Which one?
I want to hold your hand.
Yeah, because it's pop drivel. You want to talk about pop drivel? Early Beatles is pop drivel.
Yeah, he would if he was angry at Paul, he would switch it with "I want to hold your gland." I love that. Take that, Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
Poppy Paul.
Poppy Paul. So, yeah, that's what
All
I've
right.
been doing, checking out devilish
Yes.
things. What have you been up to?
I'm just glad you've been listening to Skeleta.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's fantastic. I've been enjoying the album as well, although I have different favorites on that album. Because
I know you like Missalia, whatever.
yeah, Misali Amori.
Yeah.
Because it's a song about love rockets in your face.
Yeah.
Sounds. It has legitimately has a great Kiss riff.
Yeah. No, I
Like-
mean, the whole album is great. I also like Satanized and Guiding
Yep.
Light. Those are both.
Satanized the single.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, I'm
There's a
been
lot
happy
of
with
good.
it.
There's a lot of good tracks. Like the album in general, it's very short. It's like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
You
10 tracks.
Yeah, you can listen to it in the blink of an eye. It takes no time. Go check it out.
Yeah, I've been very pleased with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Other than that, oh boy, I gotta tell you something. I started watching The Pit.
Okay. Oh,
I
I only saw like 15 minutes of the very last episode. That is an intense show.
It is. It
Yeah.
might be the most intense show I've ever seen.
I need to go back and watch the whole thing.
So The Pit is a drama where
It's a medical drama.
Medical
right?
drama. The whole thing takes place inside a Pittsburgh Hospital's ER room.
You know you're in trouble if you're in a Pittsburgh ER.
Yeah. And the gimmick is that everything happens in real time.
Yeah.
So literally the first episode is 1 hour. It's literally 1 hour in the ER room. Everything happens literally minute to minute.
Man.
And I watched it. I liked it. But then Rachel's like, "You want to watch a second episode?" I'm like, "No." I usually don't get that way. That show made me just freak out. I'm like, "No, I'm good. I can't watch another episode of this."
It seems very stressful.
It is. It's very stressful.
My parents were addicted to it, and they were saying the same thing. It's so stressful.
Yeah.
So you've only watched the one episode,
Right.
but you will continue.
I will, but it has.
Are you
going to
go
one
old?
episode.
Are you going to do old school and do like one episode a week,
Or I need
or one episode a night, maybe?
at the most one episode a night. I have to process like what happened. It is very intense, and it's in your face, and it's not, and it doesn't apologize for it. Like,
Yeah.
some guy's leg gets cut off. Too bad. It's part of the show. Like,
Right.
It is really brutal. Oh, this guy's having a heart attack. Sorry, it's part of the show. You got to see it.
I've also heard that, like, from the perspective of actual nurses and doctors and trauma doctors, that they say it's very realistic and it's like very authentic.
It kind of worries me if it's very realistic. That's what actually is what it's like. Because that seems like all these nurses and doctors are like on the verge of a mental breakdown.
Yes, I think that's unfortunately the truth for a lot of people in the medical profession. Yeah,
because man, I watched one episode. I was like, I gotta stop. Like, that's too much for me. Like, I'll go back and I'll watch it, but I need time to process because wow, a lot of stuff happened. They literally cram as many things that can happen as possible within that hour show.
Yeah, like I said, I happened to catch like 15 or 20 minutes of one episode, and I just remember it was like constant like beeping and alarms and people screaming and dying, and I'm like, why is this show like perpetually like at a sustained 11?
Yes, it is. The whole time it's almost maybe if it dips to like an 8. That's like the comedy bit.
Right.
Is like and even then it's still stressful.
I just know there was a stretch, I don't know what episode it was, that I walked in, there was like 20 minutes and it was just like constant like beeping alarms for like 20 minutes straight. I'm like, this is like playing like old school Pokemon on Game Boy when your Pokemon was on 1 health and it was like the terrifying do 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 the entire time you're trying to focus and you're just on edge. It's like constant alarms. It's very stressful.
Yes. So although I say I like the first episode, it is still very stressful, and I need like time to digest that first episode. So
fair enough.
That's my review of that show. It's good, but
good, but leave room to digest.
Yeah, it is very stressful, and I felt the effects of that. I usually don't feel like the effects of shows like that.
No, you really don't.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty good at binge watching a show, and I'm like, no, that one I need a minute.
Nothing much bothers you either, really.
Yeah,
honestly, it's a little concerning. Like, doesn't matter what it is, you're like,
Yeah, but that one was very intense.
But that's the one thing.
Yeah, that is a very intense show. So I got to give it up to them. They really did a good job with it. And eventually, I will go back and watch the second episode. But just right now, whew, that was a journey. That first episode. All right, so there you go. That's what we've been up to in the last week or so since we last did the podcast. So let's move forward now. Let's get to the news topics at hand. We've got a couple big stories, so let's jump into it. The first batch of topics revolve around sports, so let's launch into the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
That's right. Sports coming at you in your face, and we have more news that has been leaked about the Shedeur Sanders slide. This was the big headline last week about how far Shedeur Sanders slid down in the NFL draft last week. I mean, people were thinking he was going to be a top 10 pick.
Yep.
He goes not picked in the first round. He goes not picked in the second round. He falls all the way to a 5th round pick.
To the Browns, no less.
To the Browns, which I believe at one point, I think it was his dad or him. Somebody said like, "Oh, he won't be needed at the Browns or something." Well, guess what? Now he will be.
Yep.
Now he's part of the quarterback room there, and man, there is just negative stories coming out about how Shedeur Sanders treated the whole pre-draft scouting and interview process, stuff like that. Now, here's the dilemma, because you have Deion Sanders, right? And in the 90s, when he was being recruited and when he was being researched and interviewed and everything, everybody knew he was going to be a top 5 draft and top 5 draft pick. Everyone knew he had elite talent. Everybody knew that he was going to have a very good career in the NFL. And because of that, Deion was able to act like a diva. There is a story where Deion Sanders went to the Giants and said, "Oh, you're picking 10th? All right, well, I won't have to deal with you. Bye." Hang up the phone. And it was kind of true. You knew he was going top 5.
But his play backed it up.
Right. His play in college and his tape and everything like that backed it up.
Yeah.
With Shedeur Sanders, there were a lot of question marks that started to get found out about. There was tells that we were talked about that you knew certain things that he did indicated that he was going to pass for real, and some things that he did knew that he was going to do a fake pass, like he gave away kind of his ability to pump fake.
Yeah,
because all you got to do is study his tells, and boom, you know what he's going to do.
They also had more critical knocks against him, that he was a slow processor. That his team did not perform well in general, which for right or wrong is reflective of quarterback play for a lot of teams.
As all this scouting was being done on him, all these kind of knocks against him came out.
Yeah. It went from top 10 to, maybe he slides out of the top 10 to, but I don't think anybody predicted he was going to fall to the 5th.
No. And I think the problem, the camel that broke the straw's back, is apparently this attitude that he had during the interviews, where he just was not. He was very flippant. He did not address weaknesses in his game. He did not admit that he had mistakes. He treated himself like he was Deion when he wasn't.
Yeah.
And we've got this story out that was leaked by Albert Breer, which is very condemning. That ironically with the Giants too, same team that Deion had the famous story against. Shedeur Sanders had an interview with the Giants coaching staff, and they asked him to run some play installs and play calls. But what they did was the coaching staff purposely put mistakes in the game plan and the gameplay to see what Shedeur Sanders would be able to catch while reading the play calls and giving directions to his teammates and stuff like that. And Shedeur Sanders apparently did not give any sort of corrections to the play calls. He went with the play calls that were as is and just read them as read the play call and the play installs as they were given to him. And the New York Giants coaching staff asked him, "Hey, what are you doing? You're messing up. They're mistakes in the play call that you're doing." And Shedeur Sanders said, "Well, why are you giving me sabotaged plays?" And apparently from there, a full-blown argument evolved between Shedeur Sanders and the New York Giants coaching team. And there you go. The Giants go, "All right, screw that. We're picking Jackson Dart instead in the back end of that first round."
Yeah, and the Giants had 2 shots at taking a quarterback in the first, and they
if he's already being a pain in the ass in the pre-draft stage, we don't need this guy.
Yeah. And for me, it's not so much that he missed the kind of trap plays there, right? If he misses them and he says, "Oh, my bad. I wasn't thinking of that, but I'm going to correct that in the future." If he's humble about it, maybe the Giants say, "Okay, that's a teaching moment. That shows potential coachability." But if you're going to fight the coaches and GMs and talent evaluators even before you make it to the team,
that's not a good sign.
What are you going to do when they call you for something in a game?
Yeah.
Are you going to fight them then too?
Yeah. This is like the dynamite that you see like Antonio Brown arguing with his coaches, Like it reminds you you're going down that path.
Right. This is, and the thing about pre-draft interviews is they are job interviews.
Yes.
Everybody's like, the NFL, it's, it's this big, huge monopolistic thing, but it's also, for these players, a job. They, for all intents and purposes, they clock in, they clock out, they get a paycheck, just like everybody else, right? It's way better than ours, but they still get a paycheck, and they still got to perform to keep their jobs. And likewise, you have to perform to get the job. And he failed the interview, essentially.
Massively.
Massively.
Because I've never heard of a job interview going well where you argue with the job interviewer.
That's insane. Unless they ask you to argue with them. I don't know. Maybe you're like having a job interview to be a lawyer or something. They're like, argue with me,
Yeah, but other than that, I don't imagine that's a good sign. You should not be arguing.
The whole story surrounding Shedeur Sanders is so frustrating and so sad because, here's this kid that I knew that it wasn't going to work when they showed, I go back to it, what I talked about last week, the draft party.
Oh, yeah, his custom draft
his
room. Yeah.
Custom draft room and all the branding, and his head is not in the game.
Yeah.
His dad was his coach. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to wonder, dad's coach, you only go, 5-8? And there's serious knocks against your mechanics and your processing. So how'd you really get that job? That's the question. That's an unfortunate question, and that's sad for him, right? To have that be lobbed against you. But one way to combat that narrative is to go into the interview. Be humble. Be gracious. Talk about the process. Talk about your play. Don't get defensive over it. Don't argue with the team. There were ways for him to combat that narrative, and instead of combating it, he's like, nope, you got it 100% correct.
You are the one that is wrong.
Yeah.
Take that, you bastards.
Just so frustrating.
Why are you sabotaging my plays? You're the one that's wrong.
Right.
Yeah. So that story just blew me away that he argued with the Giants coaching staff before he was even drafted. I mean, there you go. That's why they took Jackson Dart over him in the back end of the first round.
Yeah.
Like there's no need to waste your time with a head case, especially when you already know he's going to be a head case. Like that pretty much that just takes the recruiter just putting like a red ink on your file.
Yeah, just big X.
Headache.
Yeah. Because like I said, there were already knocks against his processing. There were already lots of other concerns, and then this is just the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
He comes in and he validates every single one of their negative views towards him.
Yeah, just absolutely ridiculous to hear that story come out this week, leaked by Albert Breer. Just mind-boggling. Like I really, Shedeur Sanders did not treat this like a job interview. He thought this was just, he thought he was going to go like Dion, like go ahead, top 5. Someone will pick me in those top 5 picks, and nope, that's not the way it works.
And he could go and prove everybody wrong. He could go win the starting job in Cleveland.
Actually, he really should. Think about that quarterback room.
It's not a good quarterback room.
No,
it's a bad quarter. It's a quarterback room set up for him to take the starting job.
If he is as he says he is, if he really thinks he's a first round draft talent, then he really should be able to dominate that quarterback room because Joe Flacco isn't lighting the world on fire.
Yeah, you got retiree Joe Flacco.
Kenny Pickett isn't lighting the world on fire, even though he won a Super Bowl with us.
You got an injured Deshaun Watson who's out for the year.
Yeah.
Who else is over there?
The other rookie that they drafted in the 3rd round.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot his name already.
Yeah.
There you go. That shows you how much I think about him. I already forgot his name.
It's honestly a two-way competition between the 3rd rounder and Shedeur Sanders. Joe Flacco is going to be the guy, if both of them end up sucking, they're going to trot out the corpse of Joe Flacco.
Yeah, he might actually be the week 1 starter. Dear God.
He could be, yeah. The way I see the depth chart is one of these 2 rookies, if they both catastrophically suck, it's going to be Joe Flacco, and no matter what happens, Kenny Pickett's always going to be second.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them keeping both these rookies and Joe Flacco. Like one,
or they trade away Kenny Pickett, which would be hilarious.
That'd be sad, but yeah. I like Kenny Pickett. He got game time in the Super Bowl.
He did. He has Super Bowl experience.
Super Bowl winning quarterback Kenny Pickett.
Yes. You cannot take that away from him.
At the end of their careers, he may have appeared in more Super Bowls than Shedeur Sanders.
Possibly, yeah. But still,
Anyway,
nevertheless, a ridiculous situation with Shedeur Sanders, and now the team that he got drafted to in the 5th round, the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what the Browns are cooking up over there with 4 quarterbacks that they got to evaluate, but good luck with that. I have a feeling they're going to trade away Kenny Pickett. That's the only move that makes sense to me.
They can't keep all 4.
Yeah.
Two of them they spent draft capital on.
Yeah.
So you have to imagine that either Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco's gone.
And strange reason, I don't think it's Joe. I think Cleveland loves Joe Flacco. They had success with him 2 years ago.
Slow, steady, and reliable.
Yes.
He has starting experience. He's a long-term vet. He's been around. He's done it all. You can throw him in there. He's going to manage the game for you just fine. The odd one out is probably Kenny Pickett. Although it is hard to keep both rookies, I think. Don't you think a little bit?
No,
it creates an awkward.
But it's kind of like what you said.
It's an awkward locker room experience.
But it's kind of like what you said. They wasted draft capital on these 2 quarterbacks.
They did, and
it's not unheard of. Remember, Washington drafted RG3 and Kirk Cousins in the same year.
That's true.
It's not unheard of.
But the guy you drafted lower has the bigger ego. Does that not create a locker room kind of tension that doesn't need to be there?
That's what you get when you drafted Shedeur Sanders.
Oh.
It's gonna be a weird quarterback room.
I feel bad for Browns fans.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird season for them.
Yeah.
Speaking of Joe Flacco, let's talk about his former team, the Baltimore Ravens.
Staying in the AFC North, it is a disaster in that division right now.
Oh my God, it really is. I just realized that because I know we're going to talk about this story, but hold on, backtrack a little bit. We still have no answer to Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers.
Oh my God, you're right.
What the hell?
I completely forgot that was a thing.
We are 2 weeks after the NFL draft. Still nothing.
I think Aaron Rodgers is mad that they drafted a quarterback in like the 6th round.
Mark my word, it's still a 5% chance out there.
No.
It is not going away. He has not signed the contract with the Steelers yet.
He's not playing this year then. If it's not the Steelers, he's not playing. There's no way he's going to Minnesota after all this.
It's just weird to me. I can't believe he is still technically a free agent after all this mess.
AFC North. Get your act together.
Knock
it off.
The most chaos division or something. I don't know.
The most
dysfunctional division.
The most functional team there is the Cincinnati Bengals, which isn't saying much.
Who are pouring all their resources into just offense.
Right. They're like, we don't need defense?
Yeah.
Do they even have an offensive line, though? No.
They are literally the new New Orleans Saints of the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Just all offense. We are pouring get the truck, and it's all going to offense.
And it's only 3 players. It's the 2 wide receivers and the quarterback.
Yep.
They don't have a line. They don't have, what's their run game? I don't think they have much of a run game to speak of. So, yeah. Disaster of a division.
It is a very dysfunctional division.
Weirdly, though, all those teams are, Browns excluded, are competitive teams. I don't know how they do it, but they're competitive. But
so the Bengals are doing offense over defense. The Steelers are doing defense over offense.
The Browns are doing neither.
The Browns are just, I don't know. The Bengals and the Ravens are like Lamar Jackson. Here we go.
Right.
Lamar win on the division.
One element of Baltimore's game that may take a dip is special teams, because this news came out recently. The Ravens are cutting kicker Justin Tucker.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, we suspected that it was coming. So for those of you not in the know, Justin Tucker facing a lot of allegations of sexual misconduct, similar to the situation with Deshaun Watson back in Houston. These players, I don't know what is going on. But this is quite a big blow for the Baltimore Ravens. Justin Tucker was the NFL's most accurate kicker. He holds the record for the longest field goal in NFL history at 66 yards and a 7-time Pro Bowler. He's also the last Baltimore Raven from their 2012 Super Bowl team. So the longest tenured Raven and the only one left over from that Super Bowl winning team.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is a big blow for the Ravens. It's always tough to change kickers, especially when you have an entrenched one like that. Now, the Ravens maintain this was a quote-unquote football decision.
Okay.
Now, to their defense...
Oh, good for you!
To their defense, Justin Tucker was ranked 31st in field goal rate.
Yeah,
that's out of 32 teams.
He had a horrible 2024-25
really,
season.
Really bad. The Ravens also drafted a kicker. However, football decisions are made way easier when you have numerous allegations of sexual misconduct, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're saying football decisions so that they don't face any kind of NFLPA kind of like, oh, you can't cut him for, I mean, really, they can cut him for any reason, but they want to try and keep it above board and focused on football, not on Justin Tucker's actions. But let's be real.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It is what it is.
It didn't help.
No, it certainly did not.
Yeah, I think just everything was the perfect timing. He had a bad year. These allegations
The Ravens
came
got
out.
lucky he had a bad year.
Yeah.
Because if he was kicking like Justin Tucker normally kicks, you can't cut him for football reasons.
Yeah. It just seems like a good timing to release him.
Yeah.
You don't want to have this negative publicity around your team.
Yeah. Don't pull Houston Texans or a Cleveland Browns. Get it out of your locker room. Get it out of your media room. Don't entertain it.
Yeah. It is mind-boggling, though, like 2 years ago, he was viewed as like the best kicker possibly of the 2020s.
Yeah.
And now, in the span of 2 seasons, he's gone so downhill that he might not have a job now.
Even with last season, he's still the NFL's most accurate kicker. I think career-wide, he's made like 90% of his field goals. He has the record for the longest field goal. Like, you can make an argument he is one of the best kickers of all time.
Yep. But
threw it all away for a couple of handies.
Yeah, the last couple of the last 18 months or so have not been kind to him.
Yeah. Now, of course, they are just allegations. We don't know one way or the other. But in our experience with players dealing with these things, where there are allegations, where there is smoke, there's usually fire. But we'll wait and we'll see what the investigations turn up. All we know for now is that the Ravens are trying out kickers. They drafted a guy. So it's going to be an interesting time in Baltimore. The first time without Justin Tucker as their place kicker. Yeah. In
2012. So that's
2012.
13 seasons?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Woo.
That's a long time to be with one team.
Yeah.
So it really sucks, but, you know, he shouldn't have done what he did, and he shouldn't have sucked at kicking last year.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have had those two things happen at the same time.
Yeah. Bad timing on your part, unfortunately.
Oh,
so there you go there. What a weird division. That AFC North is crazy.
I didn't make that connection when we were setting up the topics, but yeah, the AFC North is just a disaster. They don't seem like it because their teams are always competitive. Like the Bengals, even though they suck, are still always in the conversation. The Browns are just doing Browns things. So you can't really put them in the equation. But yeah, 3 of those 4 teams are super competitive. But they're all a disaster in some way, shape, or form.
Get ready when Aaron Rodgers eventually does sign with Pittsburgh. Oh, that's still going to be chaos.
Chaos. Absolute chaos.
Is he just waiting to like appear on like Pat McAfee's show or something? That wouldn't surprise me.
I think that he literally wants to be left alone and do zero amount of football work until week 1.
The Brett Favre route.
Yeah.
This is exactly what Brett Favre wanted.
It is actually nauseating.
Brett Favre said, I don't want to be like in training camp. I literally want to like get the preseason, get my reps in the preseason, and like go time game 1. Like that's...
Yeah, except Brett Favre didn't explode his Achilles heel like 18 months ago.
Right.
And do weird darkness retreats.
No.
He did flash a couple of photographers
that's
and
the only thing he
media
did.
people, but
yeah.
Why do these players keep on pulling their dongs out? Keep it in your pants. Jesus, guys.
Something just came over me, and I took my clothes off.
Yeah. Woo!
Something wrong with them.
No.
Too many hits to the head.
All right.
So there you go.
So there's that we got a little bit of time left. Something I want to mention, actually, that I totally just heard today. How about this for Philly sports news, keeping it local here in Philadelphia? The Wells Fargo Center, changing the name officially. It's going to be the Xfinity Mobile Arena.
Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue. Xfinity Mobile Arena.
Yeah.
You know,
what do you think of that?
So here's the thing. Not that being named after a bank is any better. Like, that's the next dumbest thing. But at least it kind of rolls off the tongue, the Wells Fargo Center, you know? Or like Lincoln Financial Field. But like the Xfinity. The link, right. But Xfinity Mobile Arena, I don't know.
X-Mob? I don't know how you're going to shorten that.
They're just going to call it Xfinity Arena, which is annoying because they already have Xfinity Live.
Yeah, you could confuse that with Xfinity Live, which is down South Philly as well.
Nobody's going to confuse the two.
I think
one's a sports arena, one's a bar.
5 bars.
5 bars.
Excuse you.
It's a glorified bar.
Yes.
They have a really nice wall of TVs.
Yes, including one of the biggest.
It's always so
LCDs.
dark in there.
Wow, you really don't like Xfinity Live?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You're really coming out strong.
No, it's fine. I've only been there.
If I could drop a nuke on it, I would. Michael Costanzo.
That was a literal quote, verbatim. No, I mean, it's, the name just doesn't sound good.
No.
It just is bad.
Xfinity Mobile Arena.
I feel like it's too many syllables.
Yeah, it's too many syllables, too many words.
Oh, I say that about Lincoln Financial. But the Lincoln Financial Field is abbreviated to the link.
No. You can shorten. We've shortened it here in Philadelphia to just the link. I'm going to the link.
Yeah.
Even technically Citizens Bank Park, some people call it the bank.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Who calls it the bank?
Yeah.
Nobody calls it the bank.
Yes, they do.
Who? You?
Yeah, it's just me. Yeah, it's just me. It happened. No, I'm telling you.
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
the bank.
Just the bank, yeah. Or CBP.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that.
How far out of the loop am I? I'm in an entirely different shape. I'm in the square. The triangle.
You're in the square.
They'll probably just call it Xfinity, and yes, they will probably have some confusion with Xfinity Live, but they are determined to brand everything in the city. So
yeah, Comcast is just trying to brand everything with Comcast or Xfinity.
I like the Wells Fargo Center. It had a
little bit of a ring to it, yeah.
I mean, it's a arena.
WFC too. The initials were kind of cool too.
Yeah. I don't know. It's named after a bank, but I feel like it still had a better ring to it.
Let's go back to First Union Center so we can call it the FU Center.
The FU Center.
That was awesome. That fit Philly. You are literally playing in the FU Center. That matched.
It does have a certain Philly vibe to it.
Yeah. But now it's going to be the Xfinity Mobile Arena.
I miss the era of like actual sports arenas having names. You had Veterans Stadium, you had Soldier Field,
War Memorial Stadium.
War Memorial Stadium. Yeah.
That was literally a name.
Like, and it doesn't always have to be like war related, but like
The Spectrum,
right?
That was awesome. That was an awesome name.
Yeah. Yeah, now everything is just banks everywhere. Just banks and now I guess
and cable companies.
Cable companies
Dear
too.
God. Where are we at in society today?
I'll tell you. And they're still not giving up their hope. They're building a new one down there too. At least they're not jamming it in Chinatown anymore.
No, thank God. But there you go, Philadelphia residents. Get used to it. It's going to be the Xfinity Mobile Arena coming, I think, starting September is when the official name change happens.
And it goes through 2030. So get comfy.
Great. All right, well, there you go. Sports Sampler. Those are all the news that we want to talk about there in that portion of the show. We're going to take a little break to reset, but don't go anywhere because we still got the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news when we come back from the break. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We'll be right back.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
On June 7th, 4 best friends and a bunch of their friends will pile into a TV studio in Philadelphia with buzzers, microphones, lights, and trivia to recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, streaming online, live and uncensored. It's the 12th annual 24-hour game show marathon, raising $10,000 for Child's Play, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting children's hospitals around the world through the power of play. To learn more or to donate towards the $10,000 goal, go to GameShowMarathon.com.
You just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off me.
Well, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
Just get him in the car.
One cup, look.
Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. You gotta love that Democracy Manifest.
Yep.
Oh, man, that still makes me laugh.
A succulent Chinese meal.
I actually had a succulent Chinese meal last Thursday.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
It was very good. Some General Tso's chicken.
Oh, the best.
It came with an egg roll.
Nice.
I asked for extra General Tso's sauce so I could dip the egg roll in the sauce.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart thinking right there.
Yeah. That's how you do a succulent Chinese meal.
Oh, yeah.
Take that.
You know what my favorite Chinese food place is? It's back in your neck of the woods. Was Bamboo right there.
Oh, Bamboo. Yeah, on
in East
Germantown
Norriton.
Pike.
Yeah. You know it's legit because when you look at the menu, half of it is in just straight up Chinese.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense, and they serve things like beef intestines and
yum
and like tongue and like a whole bunch of. I got Peking duck.
Ooh,
oh, it was so good with that plum sauce.
Plum.
Stop! You're gonna make me want to go get Chinese food now.
Ah, Chinese. All right, no, you can't.
I just shouted Chinese.
I love good Chinese food.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Before I shout out anything else randomly, let's launch into the second part of our show with the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
celebrities,
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
and more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, we are officially in entertainment entree mode, and we're going to kick it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with new movies, TV, and video games with Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people at home?
All right, well, first up in movies, Friendship is getting a limited theatrical release this week. It's a new A24-produced comedy hitting theaters, starring Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd, and Kate Mara. A man tries to befriend his new neighbor to make some adult male friends, but it soon threatens to ruin both of their lives. Even though it's billed as a comedy, the trailer has a very dark and unsettling, kind of suspenseful vibe to it. From what I'm hearing, it's kind of like an unnerving film, but also comedic at the same time. Reviews are very good so far. It has a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes and an 82 out of 100 on Metacritic. And if you check out the trailer, it looks fantastic. It kind of takes that notion that, like, it's hard to sometimes make friends when you're like a 40-something-year-old man, you know? And it kind of like twists that into this like weird, unsettling narrative about this person getting into a friend group, and then the friend group like ostracizes him. And like, yeah, so it's billed as a comedy, but there's nothing funny about the trailer at all.
Is this like The Cable Guy when it was billed as like another Jim Carrey comedy, but it was really like a dark comedy?
It has almost the same premise as The Cable Guy, where it's like somebody looking for an adult male friend.
Yeah.
But imagine like the person finds like a whole group, and then the group like turns on him.
Yeah.
That's the premise.
Interesting.
It seems pretty. I mean, honestly, it seems pretty good. Like I said, limited theatrical release. You're gonna have to travel far to find it, but it is out. That's Friendship in theaters this week. Meanwhile, in video games, a new month equals new free games for PlayStation Plus subscribers, and I wanted to call out this one specifically. Make sure to download Balatro, a deck-building poker roguelite game where you are challenged to play poker hands using unique multipliers, buffs, and debuffs for certain cards or actions, with the goal of outscoring harder and harder opponents. It's a really weird game to describe unless you've played it. You're essentially playing poker hands, but not with the intent of winning a hand of poker, but trying to gain a high score by manipulating the cards and multipliers and abilities you have. It is a fantastically addicting game. Definitely go try it out, especially free. There's no harm in it. That's Balatro on PlayStation Plus.
I've heard there's a lot of harm. People have been saying, like, Rich, when you download this game, you're going to be obsessed with it. So
oh, yes, you will be.
I'm very hesitant to download it.
No, you absolutely should.
I know I want to play it, but I have Game Show Marathon coming up, and I've got a lot of work to do for it. So, like, I don't know. I need to, like...
That's a great thing. The runs can be very quick. Oh, but you'd be tied to the PlayStation. Oh.
Yeah.
You should download it on your phone. Then it becomes a real problem.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I've literally read reviews where people are like, this is heating my phone up too much. It's melting my battery.
Yes. It is addicting. Just like real gambling. That's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. Let's do this is our like new weekly segment with The Last of Us. It just seems like every episode with The Last of Us has been a relative banger.
Oh, they're jam-packed.
So let's do a quick little reaction, 5-minute, 10-minute discussion on The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 4 with spoilers.
It's a spoiler! Ooh, it's a spoiler! Don't listen! Go away!
All right, so Episode 4 came out on Sunday night.
Oh, man.
And it is official. Shit is getting real in Seattle.
Yes, it really is. You know, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I absolutely love this episode. Honestly, there's not been a bad moment for me this season of The Last of Us so far. I think that this episode had it all. I think that we got a great introduction to Isaac and the WLF. Something that I feel, maybe I'm misremembering the game, but I feel like we didn't get a lot of that in the game itself.
Isaac just kind of shows up.
He just kind of shows up, and I feel like this introduction was so powerful, both the opening scene and the scene with the pans. Oh, my God. And Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright hit it out of the park
Dude,
again.
So good. I mean, just stealing the show. His scenes were absolutely enthralling. Like, you could not look away. But it wasn't just that scene. It was also Take On Me. Or Take Me On. Bella Ramsey with the guitar, again, crushing it. I mean, the performances this year have been phenomenal. But you also get more of the WLF and Seraphite conflict.
Yep.
And I think I also liked the way the show did that compared to the game, because we're seeing that earlier and they're building it to be, as big as it was in Act 2 in the game. They're starting that now in very visible, tangible ways for viewers. And I think that's helpful. That's going to be helpful down the road.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they did more work there. I like the introduction of Isaac. Loved the guitar scene. The subway scene.
Oh, yeah, that was intense.
Man, so intense. I feel
another
like
stressful moment. All my shows have been stressful.
It's very
recently.
stressful stuff. So I'm just gushing and gushing. I thought the whole episode was fantastic. But what do you think? I'll give you a moment to talk about your reactions.
Yeah, I felt like this was a great way to increase everything up to 11. Because I felt like the last episode, while it was fine and it was needed coming out, you need obviously you need to have like a little bit of a respite after the shocker in episode 2.
Yeah.
So I get that it was a little bit behind, but I think it might have been a little bit too calm in that episode.
Okay.
Episode 4 cranked it back up to 11 with just everything was stressful in that episode, just about between their first fight with the WLF, between the Seraphites, between Isaac being a ruthless son of a bitch. Like it was just we're back up to 11 now, and I definitely enjoyed this episode. I feel like I know where, because this season only has 7 episodes, so we only got 3 more left.
Yeah.
I feel like I know where they're going to end episode 7.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the. Do you think it's in the theater?
Yeah. I think it's going to be the end of the theater.
The end of the theater. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot to fit into 3 episodes.
I think they can do it. I think that
they've been moving.
They are moving at a pretty good pace.
And I think that is something that I like better in season 2 than I did in season 1. At season 1, I think there were moments where I don't want to say it felt like it was stretching, but there was that whole like side plot with that lady in that city that wasn't in the game. Remember Missouri or wherever they were?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Yeah, I forget now off the top of my head, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that was like a little odd to me. But season 2, they've just, for me, it feels like a breakneck pace.
Well,
which I like.
The Last of Us, the video game Last of Us 2 is a very large game. I mean, they really are having a challenge here to try and fit this. Even in 2 seasons, it's a lot of material.
I don't think it's going to be 2 seasons. I think that we're going to get a season 4 out of part 2.
That's a long. That means you're going to wait 3 years to finish one game. I don't know. I think that's a little too long.
I mean, we know where it's going to go. You got to do all of Abby. She's been completely absent after episode 2.
As of right now.
You think they don't have any time to do any flashbacks? They didn't do any flashbacks for Elliot. They didn't do any flashbacks for Abby. They didn't do any Abby Central stuff. We have an entire WLF and Seraphite war.
Yeah. I think they're going to...
You think they're going to wrap all that up in 7 episodes in season 3?
They might hold off a bit on the Seraphite stuff. They might save that. I feel like what's going to happen is they're going to this is like Ellie's season. I feel like they're going to switch it on season 3, and that's going to be the Abby-focused season.
And then you need a season 4.
I don't know. I think that's waiting a long time. I don't know. I think you got to conclude it after that.
Here's the thing, though. TV viewers don't know that it's only one game. Or maybe they do, but they don't know what that means contextually.
Maybe. I don't know. I think that's a little... I think that might be stretching things a little too thin. Going 3 seasons. That's a long time.
You go back to Ellie.
I don't know. I don't know. Again, we'd have to see how they actually frame and put the juncture onto, what time period happens in which episode.
Yeah.
But my guess right now, going by how fast it's like you said, they're moving at a very fast speed.
They are. That's true.
I think it's going to end, the conclusion of the theater is episode 7.
Yeah.
I think that was also halfway, maybe a little bit halfway shy. It's around the halfway mark in the game too.
So you mean like the full conclusion of the theater?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
That's around the halfway mark of the game.
It is. And then I guess you could have the first 3-ish or more episodes of season 3 be entirely Abby.
Yeah.
And do Seattle 1, 2, and 3. I guess.
Yeah. I think that's what they're going to aim for.
I guess you could do that. You got to go back to the farm. There's so much. There's so much in that freaking game. But anyway, I digress. We're getting into game conversation. We're supposed to be doing TV.
In Craig Mazin, I trust.
Yeah. The dude is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He gave us Chernobyl.
Right.
And The Last of Us Season 1. And so far, a fantastic start to Last of Us Season 2. I do want to touch on one thing. I wanted to get your opinion on this. Somebody mentioned to me that they had read some comments online that people are upset with this past episode, mostly because of Bella Ramsey's acting. I don't know why people have such an issue with that, but also because they feel that she's not angry enough. And I realized that she started off incredibly angry, and it seems to have dissipated. Whereas in the games, there was almost like a pure raw fury, where this is more drive and determination, but there's no, I guess people want to see like a bloodlust. I don't know. What's your take on that?
I think there will be.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's bottled.
Yeah, right now it's bottled, but it's going to happen when we reach the. I think that the switch is going to happen the end of the theater, because there is a another massive character death that happens.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
I think we're going to...
we are in spoiler territory, but I don't know. Just in case anybody who's watching the TV show doesn't know the video game outcome. Yeah. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I think we're going to see some next episode.
Yeah, it could be.
Because they called out Nora by name.
Yeah.
And they show the hospital.
Yeah. There's something coming down the pike.
There's something. I don't mind that she's not super Kratos level rage.
Right.
Because I think that was one of the issues that people had ultimately with the game. And you touched on this when you played the game, that when you get to the ending, you're like, a lot of people didn't like the ending. Because, how do you go from being that angry to not,
yeah,
I'll stay vague. But it didn't end the way people anticipated it to. And I think that they're looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, and they're going to have it be a more bottled rage that's going to explode at certain points.
Right.
But also balancing it with, it's one of the core themes of the game, is ending that cycle. And Isaac touched on it. You started it because we started it because you started it. And he's like, I don't want to get into it.
I don't care.
Yeah. But that's the theme, is that violence is a cycle. So how do you break that cycle? You learn to live for something else and appreciate something else. So I think they're doing a little bit more nuanced work there with, intentionally keeping that rage bottled up, and it's going to explode at key moments. But I think it's going to help contextualize the ending of season 3 a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's going to lay the groundwork for that. This is now the long game here.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Everything we're seeing here pays off at the end of season 3.
Yep. All right, we got to leave it at that, because there is other video game news that we definitely need to get to.
Oh boy. Yep. Not fun news.
Yeah,
but
this might be the harbinger of things to come, because everyone in the video game world, get ready to lighten up your wallets. Things are getting more expensive.
I declare bankruptcy!
And Xbox is the first one to take the Band-Aid off.
Yes, Microsoft and Xbox could not wait to rip that Band-Aid off. They announced a huge list of price increases across all of their hardware and offerings, going into effect now for consoles, but later in the year for other items. We have a graphic to throw up on the screen here for video.
One of Mikey's signature charts.
One of my signature charts, tables, yeah. So as you can see, price increases across the board. I'm just going to run through it very quickly for audio listeners. All 5 Xbox consoles are getting price increases of about 20 to 25%. So you have the lowest tier system moving from 300 to 380. You have the Series S with more storage moving from 350 to 430, which basically puts it on par with the new Nintendo Switch 2 coming out in a month. It's a very curious thing to do this at this point. You have the digital-only Series X, which is getting a full $100 price increase from $450 to $550. The Series X with a disk drive is moving from $500 to $600. And this is a mouthful. The Xbox Series X Special Edition with 2 terabyte hard drive is moving from $600 to $730. That is more than a brand new PlayStation 5 Pro.
I declare bankruptcy!
Yeah, but that's not all. As you can see, video watchers, controllers, headsets, other accessories are getting a price increase of about $5 to $10 each. So nothing too crazy there, but the real sad news that everybody was worried about, first party, that's Microsoft and Xbox published physical games are increasing to $80, but they gave us some warning that is taking effect holiday 2025. It's not now like the consoles. It's this holiday season. Probably.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for giving us a little reprieve here.
Well, they're trying to prep people so that they don't get sticker shock when grandma goes into Target to buy little Billy a game and all of a sudden it's like $80+.
Yeah.
You know? So there's been a lot of commentary on this whole thing, pricing in video games. On the one side, people are saying that we were due for price increases, not just for the tariffs, but because video games have not been keeping pace. That back in the day, a $50 game would be, accounting for inflation, about $91 today. So games are, a lot of people are saying, underpriced. Anybody who's bought a new AAA game at release would argue it does not feel underpriced.
No.
Because if you buy a brand spanking new $70 game with taxes that's like $75, that does not feel underpriced.
And may your wallet help you if there's any sort of microtransactions.
Or, God forbid, you want the DLC or the special edition. You get ready to take out a second mortgage. But the other side, of course, is, looking at the life cycle of this console, and they're really, and I'm one of these people questioning why now. The Nintendo Switch 2 is right here. And you're looking at $450 for a brand new system or $450 for an underpowered 8-year-old system in the Xbox Series X. Why? That's such a curious move.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. If I'm going to the video game store, why would I choose the 8-year-old underpowered console when I could get the brand new one for $20 more? That's just a very odd thing. The other thing that strikes me as odd is I'm just realizing now how many different variations they have of this freaking console.
Yeah, there's a lot of different
When I was making this, I was like,
designations.
Why do they have 5 separate consoles? All of this to say that this is a pretty clear indicator that Xbox is moving out of the hardware game.
Yeah.
I think that if you read between the lines, the fact that they have so many different tiers of systems, so many different prices, most of them way more expensive than anything else on the market. The highest tier system, more expensive than the PlayStation's highest tier system. The lowest tier system is only $70 less than the brand new Switch. It doesn't make sense in place of market position. The only thing that did not get a price increase, Xbox Game Pass. And if that doesn't tell you where Xbox is looking, I don't know what does. They increase all of the consoles, all of the games, all of the accessories, but they're like, hey, for one low monthly price,
Yeah,
you don't have to
subscription.
worry about $80 games.
Yeah, so pay me that sweet subscription money. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's what it all comes down to.
it's all about, and I think Microsoft understands this. Remember, Microsoft is the company that made their bank on licensing what? Software to hardware manufacturers. And that's exactly what Xbox is going to pivot to. There's talk that they are working on a handheld device, not internally, but with other hardware manufacturers like Asus, trying to make a portable sort of Xbox console. They also are on record, Xbox heads say that they want Game Pass on Switch and PlayStation consoles if it's allowed by those other console manufacturers. All this.
Why even bother making your own hardware?
Why bother? Right. The games, all games nowadays are just, you can pretty much run them anywhere. They're all built in the same architecture, right?
Except for PC games.
Except for PC
games.
Because
that depends on graphics cards.
That depends on graphic cards and also sometimes operating systems and whatnot.
Yeah.
But most console games all run on the same architecture. And just to sum it up, there's never been a worse time to buy an Xbox.
That's what it seems like now.
Like, honestly, if you're in the market for one, I would strongly recommend against it unless, I don't know, for some reason it's like the absolute only version of gaming you can have for some reason. But the price increases outprice PlayStation and Switch. The new Switch is literally coming out in a month. And Microsoft just announced that the Gears of War remake is coming to PlayStation 5 as well. So that's the second of the big three exclusives. I think that the console wars have been over for a minute, but I think all of this news together at once really, I think, highlights that Xbox is exiting the hardware space. They're going to make
They at least don't give a crap.
Right. They're going to let Asus make their handheld, and they're going to sell Game Pass, and they're going to make so much money. We're going to forget that they ever bothered with exclusives and hardware to begin with.
Yeah. All right. On that note, we got to leave entertainment and go into our third and final portion of the show, the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Mandada bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen, and even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths, and I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to?
All right. In this story, we are going to York, Pennsylvania.
Okay, that's not too far away.
Yeah, local.
Why? Why are they
Pennsylvania.
coming so close to us?
Yep. Boy, I don't know what exactly is the cause of this, but this did happen in a York, Pennsylvania church. We're going to follow the case of 50-year-old Jesse Sokol.
I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50 years old.
Yep.
Okay.
This is 50-year-old Jesse Sokol. I don't know why it rhymes with yokel. Like
Yokel, Sokol.
Yokel, Sokol. Right? Doesn't it? Kind of similar.
Out in that direction, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jesse Sokol is a registered sex offender.
Of course.
And
of course they are.
According to state cops, he decided to walk into a Pennsylvania church and urinate into a holy water font.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
She's not a Christian!
Boy, yeah.
Oh, boy. Yep.
You're not a Christian doing this.
Oh, I don't think there's any amount of holiness that can cleanse that.
Nope. So, according to Pennsylvania State Police, Jesse Sokol strolled into the St. Patrick Catholic Church. Wow, what a typical name. St. Patrick Catholic Church. Wow.
Yep.
How many St. Patrick Catholic churches are there in the United States?
Probably a lot.
Yeah. So, but this one's in York, Pennsylvania. So that one specifically. This is St. Patrick's Catholic Church in York, Pennsylvania. Jesse Sokol decided to stroll right on in. He wandered around. People noticed.
Okay.
So
he's trying to find a good spot.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I guess
He's scoping out the joint. He's like, "What's going on here?"
I mean, I guess it is kind of weird if you go into church and you don't know what you're doing. Like most people kind of know, they're gonna pray or they're gonna.
Was this off hours? Was this during a service, a mass? I
don't. Yeah, I think this was definitely off hours because I don't see anything mentioned about a mass or anything.
You're right though. Usually, if you go into a church,
you know what you're somewhat planning on doing.
You're there for a reason.
Yeah. You're either going to pray, you're going to confess, you're going to...
that brings up a good point. Anytime you walk into... there's certain buildings, if you walk into, a dentist's office, you're seeing the dentist. You're not just walking in and be like, what's going on in here?
Yeah.
Let me check out what's happening.
Yeah. So this is already off to a bad start. This guy's just wandering.
Just wandering aimlessly.
Yeah.
Just checking out the pews and the little prayer books.
Yeah. Apparently he was first fascinated by the lost and found box in the church vestibule.
Yep, that checks out.
So I
that
guess
makes
he's trying to find some free stuff.
Absolutely.
These old guys don't got anything good back here. What the hell?
He probably goes to all the churches in town and looks through all of their lost and found.
Yeah, trying to see if there's an old phone or something.
It honestly sounds
jewelry.
like the type of person to do that.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
I bet you could probably clear some cash on the side. You get some jewelry or something, and then you just take it to a pawn shop or something.
Is that what you're doing this weekend?
Maybe.
You're just going to go to all the lost and founds and rummage around?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's lost. It's lost.
It's lost.
I'm gonna
and
find
you found it.
I'm going to find it. And then I'm going to sell it.
It's in the Word.
Yeah.
What you do, Rich, is you bring a Sharpie and really carefully you scribble your name on some stuff, and they'll be like, "Well, how do you know it's yours?" And you're like, "Well, it has my name on it."
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's what this guy first started doing. He was browsing through the lost and found box. And then when apparently somebody decided to confront him about him rummaging through the lost and found box, he then decided to run over the pedestal that contained holy water. And that's when the church worker said he desecrated it by polluting it with his urine.
She's not a Christian!
No.
Definitely not after that.
No.
Also, desecrating it by polluting it.
Yeah.
Great word choices.
I hope that this isn't the baptismal font that has the pump in it, one of those.
The pump in it? What are you talking about?
Some of the fancy churches have like a waterfall pump.
They have a pump?
Yeah.
Oh no, ours is just like standing water.
Right.
Like it's like a stagnant little.
Right. Some fancy churches, they got like a pump.
Wow.
Wow.
That's fancy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I said it that way.
Wow. Yeah,
It's like it makes me think of like a swimming pool, like a pump, like a filtration system. Like what do you?
No, it just recycles the water
But
like
how
like a
big-
waterfall.
But how big is this thing?
I mean, some of them are like waterfalls. It's like a.
Okay, the one in my church is like literally a dish on a stand.
All right, you're at a poor church.
Yes, we are. Thank you.
You're a poor person's church.
This is Ambler, all right?
Yeah. No, some of the fancy churches they have like a waterfall or like some sort of like
motion
act. Yeah, there's motion in the water or something. And that requires a pump or something. You got to be able to
I'm just fascinated by. I literally just thought that holy water came in one variety, and that was the little dishes. The little dishes by the wall that everybody's dipping their fingers in. So gross when you think about it.
Yeah.
And then,
but wait, this guy's peeing in it. I can't imagine it's one of the little ones. I think it's got to be the big one.
It's like the big, like some. I do know some have like it's almost like a tub, like it's like tub size. It's like a big. You think it's that?
I think it's got to be a big one.
It's got to be a big one.
But also, he's so like I'm trying to think of like when you go to pee, it's got to be like below your waistline.
Unless you do like a little arc shot.
You're not arcing it up.
So
bank shot, like no, you're not doing that. Yeah, I imagine.
So do you think it's a low one?
Yeah,
it's like one of the ones that they dunk people in.
Right, which is why I think it might be one of the waterfall ones.
That's a good point. If he's peeing into it, it's most likely a low, like reservoir.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Which that sucks because that means you're getting pee in the pump unit.
And you got to clean out the whole thing then.
Yeah, that's not good.
God will protect.
And
but not from that.
Yeah, and you want to talk about holy water being dirty. There you go. You're really making it dirty with someone peeing in it. Ugh.
She's not a Christian!
So, yes, the church worker did confirm that the holy water was contaminated with urine, according to state police. He was arrested right on the scene. Boy, I guess the cops must have really got there in pretty good time.
Yeah, they were fast.
Unless this guy,
he stayed there.
Unless he had a really long pee.
It's just going and going and going. Ugh.
And that guy, the church worker, just whipped out his phone. Just like, get over here! Someone's peeing in my baptismal font.
He's peeing in the baptismal font.
God damn it! Oh, I'm sorry. God love him, or I don't know.
Is that the solution to taking the Lord's name in vain? Is just rephrase it?
Yeah. God love it.
God love it. Does that work?
I don't know.
You say that?
I'd imagine if someone's a church worker, they can't curse.
Does that cancel out if you say God damn it? You just say God love it?
Maybe. I don't know. That's my logic. I don't know.
I like it. I think it works.
Thank you.
It's like balancing a math equation.
Thank you. Yes.
Every time you damn somebody using God's name, you have to love somebody using his name.
Correct. That's my logic.
As long as you put more love than damn in, you're good.
Right. I think that's a good system.
Yeah. I like it.
God, come to me for your morality point structure. I can.
Like, Rich, I need some help here.
Yeah, I got a system for you. I'm spitballing here.
You're like pitching him a thing like on Shark Tank or something?
Yeah, I got a whiteboard. I'm going to here's the explanation. I don't know. All right, so the cops got there in the nick of time. They were able to arrest him. He must have really had a long pee or something. I don't know.
Or maybe he's just like hanging out. He peed.
and
then he's like, all right, I'm going to go pray or something.
Maybe, now that I don't have to worry about peeing, I can pray.
He washes his hands in the little holy water dish.
No, he already peed in it.
No, the one by the door.
Oh, the little one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This one's not contaminated.
No.
I'll wash my hands in that one.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, yeah. So he was arrested. And here's the charge. This is an actual charge in Pennsylvania.
Peeing on God.
No.
Damn.
Intentional desecration of a venerated object.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
How do you like those words?
Them some $5 words right there.
Yeah.
Or whatever the saying is.
Intentional desecration of a venerated object. That is an actual crime in Pennsylvania.
Ooh. I wonder, how do they define venerated object? Could you Could you venerate something and then have somebody accidentally mess it up and then be like, I charge you. Get him, arrest him.
You messed up my veneration object.
Yeah. Like if I bless a bottle of water and I'm like, here, Rich, you want to drink? And then you drink it. You're like, oh, you desecrated my venerated object.
Call the cops.
Call the cops. Arrest him.
Call the Ambler cops immediately. This is our poor
post
person.
haste.
This is our poor person church.
This is our poor person church. Hey, listen, our original church burned down, all right? It's very sad. That happened 25 years ago.
So in Pennsylvania, that is a second-degree misdemeanor. And it could carry anywhere from a 6-month to a 2-year prison sentence.
Wow.
So
don't pee on holy things.
Don't you dare desecrate a venerated object in Pennsylvania.
That is some verbiage.
Yeah. Sokol was released on a $5,000 bail, but he is going to have his hearing next week in the local district court.
Sokol the yokel.
Sokol the yokel, yeah.
Sounds like it. First, he just wanders into the church, and he's, like, milling about. Then he's, like, rifling through the lost and found, and then he pees in the baptism water.
Yeah. He must have really had a good amount of pee for him to just stay around.
He was saving it up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think I'm right in my logic. I think he had to be peeing down.
Yeah. Otherwise, that is some crazy aim.
Bang shot!
He just arcs it up.
Check this out, Jesus!
Like a fountain. You know the fountains that like shoot up and they go down?
Yeah.
Like that? He's got his fountain shot. They call it a fountain shot.
It's a fountain shot. Hey, Jesus, I'm being one of your angels. Psst. I don't know. You ever see like those like Greek or Roman?
Yeah. The little cherub boys that are peeing? Yeah.
I'm gonna be one of them cherub boys.
I'm gonna be a little cherub boy. Let me be one of your cherubs.
She's not a Christian!
Yeah, so this guy definitely is not a Christian, and I guess with that, he's probably going to go to hell, too. That's I imagine that's not a very easy sin to cleanse yourself off of.
Yeah, I feel like out of all the things, that's probably a really good way to get to hell.
Yeah, right? I imagine that's not...
Could you imagine, like, if he decided to, like, confess that sin? Like, that'd be wild. Like, forgive me, Father, I peed, in the baptism water.
I peed in your baptismal font.
He's like, what? There's a baptism going on right now.
You bitch. You bitch. You pissing prick.
You pissing prick?
I don't know.
I like that. Alliterative.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Trying to help you out there.
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right. Well, you know what?
We got time for one more?
I got time for a quick story.
Let's
so
do it.
This is a quick one. This one, not a whole lot of information. It is a Florida story.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Wouldn't be the odd news without Florida.
Yep. And this is just a quick story, but this is the case of Vincent Conroy. This 56-year-old man was drunk last Tuesday in Florida and was walking around town with just a T-shirt and no pants.
All right, there you go.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Look, it's almost summer. Florida gets hot.
Very hot.
That's all I'm saying.
Conroy was also spotted with 2 wine bottles in his hands and a can of beer.
Oh, man.
So he's
double.
Everything above the waist is on par, and then everything below is just nothing.
He's just double fisting wine bottles. Damn.
Yeah. And a beer. He's somehow,
and one beer.
Somehow he's got the beer too. I don't know. Maybe he's got the wine.
He's
underneath.
got one yeah.
Yeah.
Now are the bottles empty or are they full?
I think they're still full. I think one's probably still full, and he's going back and forth between wine and beer.
Oh man.
By the way, this is on a Tuesday. Like, just,
drunk in Florida on a Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right, right?
Yep.
When he was confronted by police and asked to identify himself, the man said that, "My name's Charles Dickens, and yes, that one."
And yes, that one.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
Yes, Charles Dickens. How old is Charles? He would have to be like 120 years old or something at this point.
Oh, he'd have to be really old. Yeah. No, he was born in 1812.
Oh my God! So
over 200 years old.
This guy's 200 years old. Whoa! And he's just
I'm Charles Dickens. Yep, that one.
Yep, and he's just naked roaming around Florida.
Yeah, man. That's where he wrote all of his best work is Florida. Actually, that's where A Christmas Carol is set. It's in Florida.
Oh,
Not many people knew that. It definitely
Wow.
wasn't the streets of London.
I mean, you definitely would see ghosts down there.
Yes.
Off of all the drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm on drugs again.
And of course, obviously, being that this is the case of Vincent Conroy, the police ran his fingerprints and were able to confirm that his name was not Charles Dickens.
What?
Yes, I know. What a surprise.
He lied, too.
Yes, he lied. His name was actually Vincent Conroy. He has been charged with open container and exposure of sexual organs counts.
Yeah.
And also providing a false name. That's also a crime as well.
He did do that as well.
So he is still in jail pending a release.
If you're going to make up a name, don't use the one of a 200-year-old famous Victorian-era author.
And then say it's that one.
It's that one, right.
Like, no, it's not a coincidence. No, it is.
Right.
It's the guy you're thinking.
That specific guy, yes.
I've been reincarnated here in Florida.
Right. Oh, boy.
So
there you go.
There
Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens.
Getting up to some crazy stuff in Florida.
Oh, Dickens. So there you go. I that was the perfect fit. I knew I had like a couple minutes to kill, so
a little mini story
there because that really did happen.
The revival of Charles Dickens. Who would have guessed?
The reincarnation. He's back.
He's back, baby, and better than ever.
Here's what they should have done. They should have been like, all right, we're gonna give you like a couple pieces of paper. Just begin a story for us. Go.
Yeah, right. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. That's a Simpsons reference.
Or would he do like current phrases, like the current lingo? Like, I don't know. It was.
Yo, he had mad riz, no cap.
It was the cap of times.
It was the cap of times.
It was the riz of times.
It was the. That sentence made no sense.
I don't even know what I just
said.
No
cap.
No.
I think cap means true. I don't know.
I have no idea what I just said.
No way. No cap is true. Cap is fake.
Okay, so it was the no cap of times. It was the cap of times.
It was the cap of times.
Skibbity toilet.
Skibbity toilet, Riz, Ohio.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. That's what I have for you this week in the non-fortune cookie odd news. Two great stories right there for the price of one. There you go. You got a 2
What
for
a
one
bargain.
Deal. Yeah, bargain deal here in the non-fortune cookie odd news to wrap up this week's episode. What a day.
What a day. What a show.
Yes. So thank you guys for listening and supporting our little show. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on social media, but most importantly, make sure you have a way to get the episodes sent directly to you. Two main ways to do that. First one is our YouTube page. Go to our YouTube page, Crispy Noodle Podcast, and hit that subscribe button so that you get the podcast sent to you every week. Whenever it comes out, it'll go right to your YouTube channel inbox, and you can watch us wherever you watch YouTube, even on TV. You can put us on TV. Woo! You can watch us in your living room. You can do that on YouTube. Second main way to catch our show is we put the podcast up on Spotify. We put the video podcast up on Spotify, but you can also listen to us in the background as an audio-only podcast, and if you use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go with you. So, wherever you're driving, if you're going to write a novel in Florida, let us know what you're doing and use Spotify to listen to us in the background.
It's great inspiration, really, for
Yes.
writing your Dickensian novel.
That's
There's
right.
so many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually, you can find us on Blue Sky. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Blue Sky. Let us know what's happening. Let us know your thoughts on any of the topics that we covered, especially Last of Us, because I feel like that's happening in real time. So,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Let us know what you think of the shows that we mentioned on this week's episode. And any other news topics, let us know on Blue Sky. All right, but for right now, we got to officially start to wrap it up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.